Hey, students, let's take a look today at Chapter 8, Section 1, continuing our conversation on goals and principles of the Constitution. Vocab terms for this section begin with preamble. Preamble is the opening statement of the United States Constitution. The opening statement of the United States Constitution, made famous by a very, very memorable song, a Schoolhouse Rock song that we will look at. Also, articles, capital A, articles, the sections of the Constitution. The sections of the Constitution. We're going to be looking at the articles in this reading as well. Let's get going with our reading here on the goals and principles of the Constitution. The goals and principles of the Constitution have guided the United States for more than 230 years. Yes, 230. Constitution was ratified by the states in 1787 and 1788, and it has now been the law of the land for over 230 years. The preamble of the Constitution introduces its 6 goals. So the opening statement, the opening paragraph of the Constitution is going to introduce the 6 goals of the Constitution. They are to unite the nation, to establish justice, to keep peace and order at home, to protect the freedom of the people, to promote the well-being of the people, the well-being or the general welfare, and to provide for the nation's defense. Those 6 goals are spelled out in the opening statement of the Constitution. One of the most important goals of the Constitution when it was written was to unite the states into a single nation. And to achieve this goal, the Constitution gave wide powers to the federal government. Now, the main body of the Constitution is made up of articles, capital A articles, which are basically the different sections of the Constitution. The main body is made up of articles which establish the framework of our government, which establish the outline or the framework of our government. The main body of the Constitution is made up of the articles, which establish the framework. And the first 3 articles, Article 1, Article 2, and Article 3, describe the 3 branches of government: legislative, executive, and judicial, in that order. Article 1 speaks to the legislative branch of our government. Article 2 deals with the executive branch of our government, Article 2, and Article 3 addresses the judicial branch of our government. Article 4 deals with relations between the states, and Article 5 explains how the Constitution may be changed, or more formally, how the Constitution is amended. Article 6 declares that the Constitution is the highest law in the land. And Article 7, the final article of the Constitution, explains the procedures for ratifying the Constitution. The Constitution rests on 7 basic principles or ideas. So let's not get confused on this. The introductory statement, which is discussed over here in our reading, discusses the 6 goals of the Constitution. And the Constitution rests on 7 basic principles or ideas, and we'll look at those in the chart in a moment. These principles make sure that the citizens of the United States enjoy a careful balance of power and freedom. Let's look at our graphic organizer on principles of the Constitution. These are the principles contained in the Constitution. Major ideas. The first one is popular sovereignty, which means all government power belongs to the people, not to the leaders, but to the people. Second principle of the Constitution is limited government. Government can do only what the people say it can do. Okay? Government can only do what the people say it can do, and it can only do those things that are spelled out specifically in the Constitution. Third principle of our Constitution, separation of powers. Power is divided between 3 branches of the national government: the legislative branch, the executive branch, and the judicial branch. The fourth principle of our Constitution is checks and balances. That is, each branch of the national government is able to check or limit the power of the other branches. We'll talk specifically about this in class. The fifth principle of our Constitution is federalism. Federalism is power being divided or shared among the national and the state governments. Power is divided between the national government and the state government. That idea is called federalism. The sixth the sixth principle of our Constitution is republicanism. Citizens elect representatives to carry out the will of the people. That is consistent with the ideas of a republic. Okay, republicanism, capital R, republicanism. Citizens elect representatives to carry out the will of the people. And the final principle of our Constitution is the importance of individual rights. Individual rights under our Constitution are to be protected. Individual rights that people possess as American citizens must be protected under our Constitution. Looking at our questions at the bottom of the reading, let's take a moment to discuss these. What was the most important goal of the Constitution when it was written? Again, question 1 can be found in the reading. What was the most important goal of the Constitution when it was written? And question 2 is the graphic organizer skills question. So you're going to use the graphic organizer that we just went over, the principles of the Constitution, to answer question 2. What are the 7 principles of the Constitution? What are the 7 principles of the Constitution? That is your graphic organizer question. And just to give you a heads up, all the vocab words for section 8.1 can be found on your Quizlet page. They also can be found on your Google Classroom feed in addition. And in our next SMART lecture, in our next mini lecture, we'll be looking at Chapter 8, Section 2, how the federal government works. Until next time, 7th graders, have a great day.